enter with our colors. Male graduates, please remove your caps and place them over your hearts. And I ask that you remain standing until the colors are retired from the arena floor. Thank you. If you would please remain standing until the color guard has exited the arena. Thank you. Please be seated, and thank you. Good evening. My name is Raymond Bauer, and I'm the principal at Princeton High School. And before we begin our program, I have several procedural announcements I need to make. One is from the fire marshal, and that is, in the interest of safety, I have been requested to make this following announcement. All aisles need to remain open during the ceremony. In the event of any emergency, I would ask that all leave in an orderly fashion. People seated on the floor and in the pull-out sections, telescope sections, are asked to leave by the exits found at the four corners, the southwest, southeast, northwest, and northeast corners of the building. Come to the floor and then exit those four corners. For those seated in the upper sections, you're asked to exit by the east and west concourses. In the event if there is such an emergency, please do not re-enter the building until permission is given by a public safety official. And thank you. Also, a couple of other announcements. The music this evening is provided by the Princeton Community Band. This is made up of alumni as well as students, current students at Princeton High School, and under the direction of Mr. David Heck. UC Photography will be taking photographs of the graduates receiving the diplomas, and these proofs will be mailed to you to the homes of the graduates. You should receive those anywhere from 5 to 10 days. And photographs may be taken from your seats, and the aisles need to remain clear for safety purposes. I announced at the request of the fire marshal. Only graduates, security, and school personnel are permitted on the floor during the ceremony. If you would like to come back to the floor after the ceremony and all the graduates have left, there will be time for that. The arena will be available. The school officials will be here. During the presentation of the diplomas, I ask that you briefly applaud the name of your graduate. Please refrain from any excessively loud cheering, using whistles, air horns. In this way, all the graduates can have their names heard by the audience members, and we can proceed with an orderly and a dignified ceremony. Also, I ask that if you would silence any cell phones that you have and not take or place any calls during the ceremony. Now, at this time, I wish to introduce Emily Jones to give the class welcome. Emily.
Good evening. On behalf of the class of 2001, it is my sincere honor to welcome you all to this very special occasion. These graduates deserve much recognition, but to the parents, teachers, administrators, and friends, we owe our thanks. Your attendance today and support over the past several years is greatly appreciated. Many of the students that you see before you have known each other since elementary school. They have been the best of friends. So tonight, for us, it is bittersweet. Students come to welcome the future, but will not forget the high school life to which they have grown so accustomed. Football games, good teachers, parties, crammed lunch tables, a wet senior picnic, and a hallway filled with familiar faces will all be greatly missed. These very special memories that have accumulated over the years have made us who we are and have prepared us for the future. As in the words of Arthur M. Schlesinger, history is to the nation as memory is to the individual. An individual deprived of memory becomes disoriented and lost, not knowing where he has been or where he is going. As a class, we will probably never be together again as we have been for the past 6 years, some for even more than 13 years, but our time together will not be forgotten. We will not become disoriented or lost, for we know where we have been and who we are. We have grown together as a class only to help build the people we are to become. Still, we will always remember the times we have shared together, both academically and socially. After all, God gave us memories so that we might have roses in December. May today be one of those memories, a memory of celebration for academic feats over the past several years. Today, we will commemorate the class of 2001's past and rejoice in their future. This is a group of great character, amazing intellectual potential, and of admirable ethics for people only in their teenage years. God has blessed the students in the class of 2001 in many ways, and there is much to be proud of. Again, I welcome you to join the class of 2001, bring closure to their successful high school years at Princeton, but also to greet the future that awaits them all. Thank you. It is now my sincere pleasure to welcome the Executive Board President and my dear friend, Thomas M. Hirschner.
Thank you, Emily. That was a great welcome. Good evening, staff, students, family members, and distinguished guests. Tonight we come together to celebrate the commencement for Princeton High School's class of 2001. As we students close our final chapter at Princeton, we can envision new opportunities leading us into the future. But it's also nice to know where we've come from. In 8th grade, I had Mr. Overson as a social studies teacher. You know him now as one of the principals in our school. And we didn't always study social studies. You see, we often listened to him giving lectures on life. And one day I was sitting in my chair and he was talking to us about taking the advantages that the school provides. Now, I hadn't been involved in much through my school years because I was very shy and introverted. But as fortune would have it, he pointed to me out of the entire class and asked me what I did after school. I told him I simply just go home, do my homework, kind of chill, watch some TV or play computer or something. It really wasn't very productive. He got a disappointed look on his face, and he told me I should get involved in at least something after school. I stared back in a kind of quiet surprise, and he then invited the entire class to do the same, get involved and participate. He said, why should we be scared to try something if we had never tried it? Then he looked back at me and gave me a challenge. He told me I should audition for Grease, the junior high musical. Some of you may remember that. Now, I hadn't been involved in a play since kindergarten, so I thought the suggestion was pretty odd. I hesitated and shrugged off the idea, but Mr. Overson didn't let me stay there. He came back and he asked me if I was scared to audition. And I told him no in a moment of pride, and I said, I could do it, sure. So I did. I tried out, and surprisingly, I got in. Since then, as most of you know, I've been involved in theater, and Lord willing, I'll be pursuing it as a career. All because of Mr. Overson's words. It's kind of an interesting idea. Now think back to all your years of school. Now I know you're ready to leave and you're getting sick of this tassel dangling in front of your eyes, but just reflect for a minute. Think back to yourself. Just how did you get here? You're sitting in the seat right now. How did you get there? I mean, when you come to think about it, it started when you were back in kindergarten. You took one of those big, fat, black pencils and somebody taught you to write an A, or B, and C. Somebody taught you math, the basic rules of adding. Then all of a sudden you were reading Shakespeare and Maya Angelou. You were doing algebra. Someone maybe even taught you the fundamentals of a sport or a craft. Or perhaps you were as lucky as me and you had someone like Mr. Overson, who made a sincere impact on your life and who changed your life forever in a single moment. Think back to the contribution of these people. You may have a memory that you will never forget because they made such an impact on your life. But whatever the circumstances, these people spent their time, all their talent, all their knowledge to get you here, to get you sitting in seat RD6 or LF3 or whatever seat you may be sitting in. They also created the person that you are today. They helped aid you in that. That was their job. And they're called teachers, but I think they're miracle workers. Now, there are also some faculty members, central office workers, and others who made it possible for us to get the education that we have and graduate. Tonight it is my honor to introduce some of those influential leaders who you'll see up on stage. Our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Dennis L. Peterson. Mrs. Jenny C. Pansing, President. Mr. George A. Kaiser, Vice President. Mr. Gary A. Bryson, Member. Mrs. Tawana Keels Simons, Member. Mr. Mark Lehman, Member. From Central Office, our Assistant Superintendents, Dr. Shelley J. Hamler. Dr. Michelle Means Walker. And Miss Ann Boyle. Our high school administrators, Dr. Raymond Bauer, Principal. Mr. Craig L. Williams, Associate Principal. Mrs. Marcia Anderson, Assistant Principal of the 12th grade. She's out there somewhere. Oh, there, she's in the back. Okay. Our high school guidance counselors, Ms. Ann Kress. Mr. John C. Beischel. Mr. Dan Shea. And Mr. Gary Vermillion. And finally, from Scarlet Oaks, Mr. John Quatman. Now, at this time, I'd like everyone who's involved in the faculty, the central office, the board, the council members of Princeton District to please stand and be recognized. Let's appreciate them for all the work that they put into our lives. Thank you very much. Now I have the distinct honor to introduce the Superintendent of the Princeton City Schools, Dr. Dennis L. Peterson.
Thank you, Tom. That was a great job of introducing everyone. We appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. It has been my honor and pleasure to serve as Princeton Superintendent these past 5.5 years. And it is my privilege to welcome you to the 2001 commencement exercises of Princeton High School. This is a very special evening, and it is my distinct honor to be part of it. Although I've been involved in more than 60 commencement programs over the years, this one is special to me because it is yours, your moment. And I share your personal joy and deep sense of accomplishment. Your achievements are what give my work meaning. This is the most important event of our school year. It represents the culmination of hundreds of thousands of hours of work by students and adults in Princeton. It is the district's payoff, and it is certainly your payoff, the opening of the gates of all that America promises to each of us. I want to extend a special welcome and thanks to the parents and relatives of each of the graduates. As a father of 4 high school and college graduates, I also identify with the special pride parents feel today. You deserve special commendation. Only you know what it took to get each of the graduates this far. And only the graduates are capable of thanking you properly for your love, encouragement, and support. This evening is important to families in so many ways. And I hope each graduate will take time to express to parents and other family members the gratitude, love, and pride they feel. Likewise, there are special friends of graduates here this evening who have given support and encouragement, and gratitude for their caring is certainly in order. There are many who have contributed to your schooling. Teachers can and do have a significant impact on you because of the time they spend with you and because of the specific learning agenda to be met. Add their caring, concern, and commitment, and you have some very important individuals who have affected your lives forever. Thank you, teachers. Counselors have worked closely with you to meet your individual needs and support your plans for the future. Secretaries, bus drivers, custodians, and other caring and committed employees have served only to give you the best possible schools and to support your learning opportunities. Administrators in your school and those with district-wide responsibilities have developed plans and secured quality programs, classes, and services to meet your needs. Thank you to all of the other employees who support students. The members of our Board of Education deserve your appreciation for their dedication to your interests and to the cause of excellence in public education for our community. Thank you, board members. And the many taxpayers in Princeton who provided you with a free public education, which is far from free. In fact, it has cost taxpayers more than $90,000 to educate each of you, because we consider you an investment in our future and in your future. There is not a single parent here tonight who pays anywhere near enough in taxes on their home to cover the annual cost of your education in Princeton, nor will they ever fully pay for it if you go all the way through Princeton. Through our system of public education, which forms the real foundation for the freedom and prosperity we enjoy in America, one generation reaches out to the next to help prepare them for the future. Thank you, taxpayers of Princeton, for your commitment to public schools and for your support of each of these graduates. Finally, we are here tonight to celebrate one group. One special group deserves our commendation and congratulations this evening: the members of the Princeton High School graduating class of 2001. This is your moment, your victory, your great achievement. It is your climax to years of formal schooling, your payoff for all of that work and overcoming all of the challenges you have faced. There is, of course, a very personal and individual story behind each graduate. Each of you has had many successes and setbacks, achieved significant milestones, made sacrifices, and met special challenges on your path to this evening's event. Unfortunately, I must tell you that the future is even more uncertain than the past has been. You are going into a highly competitive world, one that is going to be more challenging than any faced by previous generations. Although you have received an excellent education, this new world is demanding ever greater results from our schools and our graduates. That is why we invest so much time and money in your lives. You must have hope that the world you enter will give you a place to thrive and succeed. Without hope, the future does not matter. But hope for the future without a way to reach the rewards is a travesty. So we must create the pathways to reach the future we promise our students, our graduates. The past does not necessarily assure the future. You will have to work very hard every day and apply the principles of success to future challenges in order to be successful in life. To say that you are our future is not an empty cliche. You are our future, and what you make of it will impact all of us. We have to assure that all of you will succeed, actually thrive in this challenging world. On behalf of all of us, I want to congratulate you, tell you how proud we are, and extend all of the best wishes in the future. Thank you. And now it's my honor to introduce the President of the Board of Education at Princeton, Jenny Pansy.
Good evening. On behalf of the Princeton Board of Education, I welcome all of our esteemed guests, family, and friends, but most of all you, the class of 2001. Students, it is because of you that we gather tonight to celebrate your achievements, and we join together to send you forth with high expectations and hopes and dreams for your future. This is my 4th Princeton graduation, and I love being a part of the whole ball of wax here, each and every one of them. I love having the opportunity looking out and looking at your faces just at this moment. I see the smiles, I see the concern, I see a tear here and there, but most of all, I see a lot of excitement as you're willing to just step ahead. You and your families wonder what your life ahead is going to be like, which turns in the road you will choose. You feel the positive, hopeful energy that just exudes from this place tonight. This is very uplifting and powerful. Enjoy that sensation and revel in the possibilities. This is your time to be proud of your accomplishments. Now, these accomplishments haven't come easily. Many years of work and sometimes downright struggle have gone into reaching this goal of graduation. You have not been alone in your endeavors. As the previous members that have spoken have already said, your family, friends, and teachers have been there, helping to make the path just a little bit smoother. Some have made very many sacrifices to get you here. Your community has been there to give you the wonderful opportunities that we do here enjoy in Princeton in the first place. But in the end, it was you that had to decide to make the best of the gifts that you have been given and choose the path that brought you to this commencement this evening. Some of you firmly believe you know what you want to accomplish and do for the rest of your life, but many of you don't even have a glimmer of a clue yet, and that's okay. Don't despair, you are not alone. Even those who really think they know what they want to do may frequently change their minds in the coming months, years, and even decades. Life has a way of throwing you a curve just when you think you've got everything all figured out, and just be prepared for that. Our lives and our society are undergoing tremendous change, and even the best futurists don't really know what to expect, except continued change. It's all going to be a part of our lives. Remain flexible, keep your options open, and remain true to yourself and to your values, and you will survive and thrive in our ever-changing world. Your Princeton education has helped you develop the foundation and the tools that you will need to be a lifelong learner, but it's up to you to use those tools wisely to continue to thrive. And now, as you make further decisions about your future paths, it's time to take some of those gifts that you have been given and pay it forward. If you've seen the current movie of the same name, you know the concept I'm talking about. When someone does something extraordinary for you, you don't pay them back. You pay it forward by doing something for somebody else, and not just one other person, 3 other people. In Princeton, we incorporate this concept in our character education values with the concept of service to others, without the expectation of personal gain in return. Either way you look at it, the ripple effect helps make the world a little better place than it was before you left your mark on it. If we all conscientiously decide to make this the way we choose to live, then our society as a whole will reap the benefits. It is certainly appropriate for you, the class of 2001, to thank the people who have helped you accomplish your goal of becoming a Princeton grad. People like to know that their efforts haven't gone unnoticed, and that they have helped in some way to get you to help you work to achieve your dreams. But the best thanks that you can give is to go ahead and pay it forward and show the entire community that you have indeed learned your life lessons well. The following poem has a lot of meaning for me. I keep it close on my desk and just tries to help me keep a little focus in the things I do, and I'd like to share it with you. It's called "You May Count That Day" by George Eliot. If you sit down at set of sun and count the acts that you have done, and counting find one self-denying deed, one word that eased the heart of him who heard, one glance most kind that fell like sunshine where it went, then you may count that day well spent. But if through all the livelong day you've cheered no heart by yea or nay, if through it all you've nothing done that you can trace that brought the sunshine to one face, no act most small that helped some soul and nothing cost, then count that day as worse than lost. So you need to decide how you're going to count your days, whether you wish to count them as well spent or lost in that same manner. That is my challenge to you. As you move on from your high school years into your jobs or into further education, think about how you want to make a positive impact on the world around you. Utilize the other character education values you've learned in Princeton as long as you were mastering your academic subjects as well. We have talked about trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, compassion, and honor. These, together with service, will guide you well as you make decisions that impact on your lives and the lives of others you meet along your journey. Be a positive change agent for our world. Be informed and act responsibly and appropriately. For, like it or not, you are the leaders and the role models for the coming generations. Your actions and attitudes do matter. Please choose them wisely. Thank you all for your kind of attention. Blessings and peace to the class of 2001, and good luck to you all. Make your life and your world truly great. Now Greg's getting nervous because he wasn't sure what I was going to say, but I'll be kind. It is my honor to introduce to you the Salutatorian of the class of 2001, Greg Huey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I really thought my English oral exam was going to be the absolute last time I would have to do public speaking of any sort. Of course, I also thought school was over after first semester this year. For my 4 years in high school, I learned a great deal. I don't remember much, but I do remember some famous historian saying, "Veni, Vidi, Velcro," or something like that. And I think that those 3 words actually can be related to our graduating class this year. Veni, we came. Vedi, we saw. And Velcro, we stuck around for a while. And while we were doing, as that one famous historian said some thousands of years ago, we actually accomplished something. We changed the image of Princeton High School. It's kind of nifty, huh? Actually, now that my history and English teachers are about to kill themselves and my parents are slowly headed towards a car, I better say for the record that Julius Caesar said Veni, Vedi, Vici, meaning we came, we saw, we conquered. It's just a minor difference. After all, we have done both. We stuck around Princeton High School for 4,
maybe more years, and during this time we have overcome the hardships of academic stress, sleepless nights, unemployment, poverty, and last but not least, cafeteria food. We have also overcome stereotypes slapped upon our school. It seems like unless you go to a school that rhymes with Pickamore or Makota, it seems that in today's society, public schools are synonymous with words such as dangerous, substandard, and inferior. Schools like Columbine seem to grab the attention of the world, as school shootings and widespread violence seem to be the current stereotypes of public high schools. And yet from these stereotypes, this graduating class that sits before me today breaks all traditional expectations of a public school. I feel honored to stand before this group of people that will soon be receiving their diplomas. We are all-state musicians, athletic state qualifiers, national merit scholars, hometown heroes, and survivors of the toughest, most rigorous curriculum in the history of Princeton High School. Our graduating class, the first of the new millennium, has single-handedly redefined the expectations of a public high school. We have gone above and beyond the expectations laid out before us by the state, and have proven to the teachers, staff, and the community that we truly deserve the recognition of being ranked the #1 high school in the city of Cincinnati. As we leave today on our journey into the world, remember that we hold the future in our hands. We sit before you as the telemarketers, servers, burger flippers, and busboys of today. But we are also the doctors, lawyers, and architects of tomorrow. We are the future bankers, surgeons, and politicians of our nation. Today, this class of 396 students sits as the most recent survivors of Princeton High School. As unbelievable as it might sound to the people in the audience, we sit here today dressed in our snazzy polyester gowns and styrofoam hats as the future of our nation. I encourage you to take a glance at the people that sit in front of you today. Take note, learn from our achievements, study our every move. This is your final opportunity to see us without having to make an appointment or pay for the cost of admission. We have redefined the image of Princeton High School within the last 4 years. Imagine what we can accomplish tomorrow as we enter the world. We are the future of America. We are the class of 2001, and we rock. Don't mess with us. I would now like to introduce two members of our graduating class of 2001. I've known both Chris and John since 4th grade at Rellis, but did not realize their full potential until this past summer when I had the privilege of working with both of them at Steak and Shake. John could cook steak burgers and fries faster than anyone I ever saw, while Chris managed to drop and break 36 new glasses with record timing. Both are great guys and lead our class academically and athletically as they are leaders on the basketball and soccer teams. It's my honor to introduce the valedictorians of our graduating class, Chris and John Mullen.
Thanks, Greg. Now, I know graduation can be a little boring sometimes, so John and I have decided to lighten it up a little bit. We haven't decided who is going to speak first, and in order to do that, we're going to play a little game of rock, paper, scissors.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of the board, distinguished guests, and most importantly, members of the class of 2001. I would like to start off my speech by asking a question. What makes us, the graduating class of 2001, so unique and so special? First of all, every one of you must listen to my speech. But then again, so does everyone throughout this entire building. So really, look around at your fellow classmates. There might be some that you have known and been best friends with since 1st grade. And there might be others that you're just now meeting for the first time. And ask yourself, what makes our class so special? Well, we are all wearing stupid-looking hats. Very stupid-looking hats. But then again, so are the people behind me, and all the teachers in the back. So what makes every graduation, and in particular this one, so unique and such an important event? Well, this seems to be the goal of every graduation speech, given countlessly by many class valedictorians. That lucky person gets to stand in front of a microphone and try to sum up 4 years of high school in what I've been repeatedly told must be 5 minutes or less. But many times these speeches fail. And I think you might be familiar with some of the speeches that I'm talking about. There are 4 different kinds. The first is what I like to call the go-get-'em speech. The speaker will stand up and he'll babble on about the future and all the possibilities that it holds. We are the future. Make the best of the one shot you have at life. And the word potential is used nearly 80 times. And that just doesn't really work. The second is when the speaker has absolutely no idea what to say, so they will have the other people try to speak for him or her through quotes, and lots of them. The speaker will quote people from Yogi Berra to Henry David Thoreau to Michael Jordan to William Shakespeare and everyone in between, and they will keep on quoting, and they won't stop. In the words of blah, 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 as so-and-so once said, etc., etc. And they begin quoting people that no one has ever heard of, and it all goes downhill from there. The third is the emotional or sappy speech. The speaker will stand in front of his or her class and will go on and on about how much he or she loves the class and how much he or she will miss everybody next year, and tears start flowing and it becomes a mess. And it doesn't work because everyone, as I'm sure the case is now, is just very happy with completing high school. The fourth type of speech will start off with a terrible joke, and the speaker will then try to turn that joke into a meaningful message. Well, this speech never works because the joke is terrible, and the messages are incredibly cheesy, almost as cheesy as all the Hallmark cards we are soon to be bombarded with. So this speech is none of these. Why? Because it is hard to put into words all of the feelings, emotions, desires, aspirations, fears, and accomplishments of all 396 graduating seniors into a speech that is, as I've said before, 5 minutes or less. But somehow they expect me to be able to do it. But they also tried to sell milk in bags and give detentions for untucked shirts. I don't know. And now I know many of you are looking at your watches and you're thinking, oh, when's he gonna finish? There's that party tonight. So I'm not gonna take that much more of your time. In a way, life is like Mario Brothers. In the Mario video game, you start off very small. Then by eating a mushroom, you become bigger. Bloop, 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 bloop. And finally, you earn a cape and you can fly. When we first entered the high school, on the first day of our freshman year, we took a bite out of that mushroom. Bloop, 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 bloop. And the growing began. Throughout high school, we have all matured, from children to young adults. Well, tonight, that initial growth has ended, and we entered a new stage of our lives. Tonight, we have all earned our capes. With this robe, with this cape, you are capable of anything. This robe enables you to follow whatever path you choose. All limitations have been removed. And I encourage you to make the most out of your life. Using this cape, I encourage you to fly through the sky and to soar through the heavens. You leave Princeton not only with a diploma, but with endless possibility. You have worked through 12 years of high school, including 4 of those at the high school. 12 years of school, including 4 of those at the high school, for the diploma that you're about to receive. And you might think, wow, I spent 12 of my 18 years in school, and it may seem like a lot of time, but really it's not. With these 12 years, you have opened all doors, and you have made it possible so that you can do anything and everything for the next 80. It is definitely a worthwhile deal. Take advantage of the possibilities. You have limitless opportunities and infinite promise. And, well, I'm sorry, guys, because I guess I owe you an apology. I made fun of speeches that talk about the possibilities of the future, and then I began to talk about the possibilities for the future. Is that hypocritical? Maybe, but not really, because as I look at our class, I see that the opportunities we have for our futures, and it's truly amazing. Every graduating senior has come from a different place, but by our different paths, we have all found our way to this graduation. And from this graduation, we will go to different places, taking different paths, and we will experience different experiences, accomplish different feats, and attain different goals. Since we were in kindergarten, we've been told, Everyone is different and everyone is special. Tonight, everyone is special, but white robe or red robe, everyone is the same. What happened in the last 4 years and what will happen in the next 40 seem diminished in the importance of tonight. Move on in life. Seek what your heart desires. Become what you want to be. But as you go on in life, never forget tonight where you came from, or that you were, are, and always will be part of the class of 2001. Thank you. I would now like to introduce the Mullen that is not as good at rock, paper, scissors, my brother and co-valedictorian, Chris Mullen.
Before I speak to you today, I'd like to take the time to thank and congratulate many people here. First, I would like to congratulate all the graduates of the class of 2001. Everyone here today has had many accomplishments. No matter how large or small these accomplishments may seem, they have definitely added to our class as a whole. The success of our class is not the responsibility of a group of individuals, but rather it is the product of all that has been achieved by the 400 or so young adults receiving their diplomas today. The accomplishments and achievements of everyone here deserve congratulations. All right. Humor me, guys, come on. But I also know that we would not have succeeded if it weren't for the many people that have shared our moments of happiness and frustration and have stood by us through all of high school and all of our lives. I know that all the families, all the friends, and all the teachers here today truly deserve our gratitude. And you know, the more I thought about standing up here, the more I realized that I couldn't let the opportunity pass to thank some people that are especially dear to me. First, to Mom, Dad, John, and Andrew, thanks for always being there for me. To Grandpa, thanks for your love, support, and terrible jokes. I guess now everyone knows where I get mine from. And to Grandma, thanks for your love, support, and chocolate chip cookies that have gotten me through all the difficult times. All right. So now comes the point where I'm supposed to say something wise, tell you how to make the world a better place, bring you to tears, make you laugh, etc., etc., etc. But honestly, who am I to stand up here and lecture you guys? I'm the same guy who freshman year thought the pool was on the 4th floor. When I sat down and decided what it is I would say, I thought about the beginning of our time at Princeton. And I remember the first time that John and I had to speak together. It was in the 1st grade. We were introducing the first act of our class play, and John stole my lines. So we argued a little bit, and it wasn't really pretty. And so, think about that. That was 12 years ago, back in 1989. And in looking back, many things have changed since then. In 1989, minimum wage was $3.75 per hour. Now it's $5.75 per hour, plus all the fries you can eat. In 1989, there was no PlayStation. Instead, teenagers amused themselves with games such as Tiddlywinks and Yahtzee. In 1989, the Berlin Wall was just coming down. Now, this really means absolutely nothing to my speech, but I just put in there so Mr. Dugan and all the other history teachers out there would feel special. In 1989, gas cost less than $1 per gallon, and now it seems to rise every day. And the one I find to be the most incredible was that in 1989, the Bengals were in the Super Bowl. Since we started at Princeton 12 years ago, so much has changed in the world. And undoubtedly, the next 12 years and the rest of our lives will also be filled with change. We need to be ready to handle that change, and I believe we can. You know, I'm up here speaking to you today because I did good on tests, in classes, and in stuff that we were graded on. But I believe the bulk of my education came outside the classroom in stuff that we weren't graded on. Due to a variety of circumstances, all of which were out of our control, we were cast together, confined by the walls of PHS, and were called the class of 2001. It may have been fate, yet the walls of PHS defined our community. We were forced to interact with people who would not have had relationships with otherwise. And yet, how fortunate we are that this occurred. Speaking from my own experience, the people I hung out with, studied with, knew, or even just bumped into the hallway all contributed to my growth as an individual. We should not forget this, but instead recognize the value of the relationships we have developed. Personally, I have learned a lot from you and from our community. If there is one message that I can leave with you, it is this. As we move on to the new chapters of our lives, I hope that each of you will recognize the effect that our Princeton community has had on our growth. And I hope you seek continued involvement in such diverse communities. And this will help you through the many changes that will occur in the rest of our lives. And hey, it might just make the world a better place. Thanks. And finally, John and I would like to share one final thought.
As you know, we are the class of 2001. 2 is for the number of valedictorians we have. The first 0 is for the number of people here at Princeton that regret their 4 years. The second 0 is for the number of people in this room, other than the graduates, that do not deserve thanks. Everyone here does. From the class of 2001 to all of you, thank you for all of your support throughout these years. And finally, number 1. We are number 1. We are the best class ever. We are 2001. Thank you.
And finally, I have the pleasure of introducing the seniors from a cappella who will sing Old Irish Blessing.
Before I present the class, I'd like to have everyone's attention, please. I'm asking for your cooperation so we can continue with this ceremony. Security, if you mind going to those areas where the people are not cooperating, I would appreciate it. Again, before presenting the class, just a reminder, ask that you remain seated during the presentation of the diplomas that's completed, and also limit your applause because we will be quickly reading the names of the graduates. And also, again, on behalf of the Fire Marshal, you'll need to keep the aisles clear. You may take photographs, but from your seats. Again, we have professional photographers. UC Photography will be here on the stage taking photographs, presentation of the diplomas. In making the presentation, I'll introduce Ms. Becky Heckman and Mr. Alan Young, staff members of Princeton High School. Mr. Young will read the names of the foreign exchange students and present them with certificates of attendance, and then we will go through the roll call for the graduates. So on behalf of the staff and the administration at Princeton High School, I present the members of the class of 2001 who have met the requirements established by the state of Ohio and the Princeton City Schools Board of Education and are now eligible to receive a high school diploma.
At this time, will the foreign exchange students please step forward? Renska Bloomers. Jarin Chung. Niels Branken. Niels Henning Dusa. Geisha Falk. Angel Francisco Lugo. And Mattia Marchesi. Kevin Paul Jacobson.
Jennifer Suzanne Rieger.
Jason Lavelle Reese.
Mandy Marie Lawrence.
Justin D. Null.
Megan Leah Montecalvo.
David Dwayne Johnson.
Nicole Marie Jolly.
John Evan Salee Colley.
LaChristian Joy Vanover.
Maria Dejanay Thomas.
Katie Davis Martin.
Sherry Lynn Henderson.
Valerie Lopresti Vogel.
Michelle Nicole Gregg.
Christina Marie Felix.
Thomas Matthew Hirschner.
Lauren Ashley Cecilia Champlin.
Emily Ann Jones.
Jessica Lynette Elvey.
Gregory Eric Huey.
Taryn Michelle Anderson.
Jonathan Edward Mullen.
Melissa Ann Sloan.
Christopher John Mullen.
Kevin Thomas Carlberg.
Norman Michael Goki.
Jennifer Lynn Tankersley.
David William Wernersbach.
Amy Lynn Day.
Isam Hakam Stewie.
Oni Zakiah Parrish.
Tamara Lynn McMath.
Nicholas Carlo Maraldi.
Chelsea Marie Vanderhorst.
Kevin Robert Fessenden. Elizabeth Carmen Peace.
Emily Rebecca Adams.
Kenneth Blake Alexander.
Denise Dion Allen.
Gregory Michael Asher.
Angela Veronica Anderson.
Corey Scott Odrich.
Jocelyn Elizabeth Anderson.
Mark Justin All.
Amira Danielle Will Andrews.
Robert John Back.
Jennifer Casey Arnold.
Jason Todd Bailey.
Jessica Elizabeth Arnold.
Norris Crete Baker.
Chelsea Nicole Atkins.
Joseph Matthew Baldridge.
Kristen Nicole Baker.
Ronald Royce Ball III.
Elise Dayon Banks.
Robert Clay Bannister III.
Christine Larissa Barrick.
Jeffrey Dion Baxter.
Elizabeth Jane Barry.
Justin Paul Beatty.
Helen Marie Beeman.
Michael Robert Burgesson.
Marcus LaShawn Berry.
Billy Jean Beard.
Michael Roy Blomer.
Anuli C. Bell.
Robert L. Boyd.
Kelly Lenora Blackwell.
Micah Aaron Brady.
Andrea Lee Blanton.
Robert Braggs III.
Asia Booker.
Paul Wesley Branscombe.
Denicia Nicole Bolden.
Roderick Douglas Bristol.
Jawan Crystal Boykin.
Patrick Charles Broadbeck.
Camille Rochelle Boykins.
Bryant Brown.
Bree Jillian Bradshaw.
Christopher Micah Brown.
Shakira Janae Brock.
Dalen Edward Brown.
Rena Monique Browder.
Jared Walter Brunswick.
Felicia Joanna Brown.
Christopher Michael Burke.
Taria Denise Brown.
Andrea Denise Buchanan.
Quinlan E. Butler.
Amanda Kathleen Bird.
Luis M. Calderon.
Kendra Marie Cephas.
Anthony Wayne Calhoun.
Danielle Jacqueline Chenault.
Robert Allen Caress.
Siobhan Monique Childs.
Andrew Jordan Carr.
Alexandra Michael Clark.
Benjamin Azariah Carrington.
Andrea Denise Coburn.
Jared Antonio Carrion.
Carmen Latrice Colbert.
Jermaine Antonio Carroll.
Jessica Rose Costello.
Michael Patrick Cassidy.
Rita Marie Covington.
Matthew Ernest Sacheray.
Courtney Renee Crawford.
Daniel Adam Cheeseman.
Sharonda Lee Crawford.
Byron Maurice Cooper.
Gabriella DeMoss.
Matthew Stephen Cordray.
Nicholas Stephen Craven.
Sarissa Leanne Daniels.
Edward Eric Creasy Jr.
Jamaica A. Davis.
Lee Curtin III.
Teresa Renee Davis.
Christopher Lamar Daniels.
Leah Marie DeMar.
Benjamin Ross Dougherty.
Shanika Renee Dennis.
Joseph Chandler Davidson.
Jessica Robin Dodds.
Gregory Darnell Dix.
Ruth Ellen Donahue.
Dentrell H. Douglas.
Ashley Elizabeth Dugan.
Robert Mark Earhart.
Heather Sue Duncan.
Philip Jason Eldridge.
Latoya Tequila Evans.
Philip Joseph Ewald.
Stephanie Elizabeth Even.
Aaron Michael Felsheim.
Melanie Ferris.
Micah LeGrand Fitzgerald.
Amanda Marie Fiegel.
Shalonda Helena Folson.
Jeffrey Richard Florent.
Victoria Desiree Foster.
Joshua Andrew Fouts.
Stacy Lee French.
Kemet Lamar Frazier.
Lindsay Alana Frierson.
James Adam Freeland.
Lori Lynn Fulcher.
Vincent Lawrence Fruget.
Latoya Monique Gaines.
Adam Wayne Godfrey.
Constance Helena Graham Gamble.
Adam Stewart Goodwin.
Michelle K. Garton.
Keith Duran Green.
Allison Ivy Marie Givens.
Demetrius Anthony Gregg.
Rachel Eileen Glassmeyer.
Daniel Ronald Haig.
Ashley Nicole Gray.
Joshua Little Crow Harrell.
Sakaya Giovanni Grove.
John Halbert Harris.
Leslie Ann Hamilton.
Vashawn Ezel Harrison.
Charles Donald Hardy.
Lindsay Tara Hamilton.
Landon Durrell Hawkins.
Brandy Nicole Hampton.
Stephen Alfred Hedrington.
Jennifer Marie Heaney.
Nicholas Blake Henry.
Sarah Jennifer Hedrington.
Bert Lanford Hill, Jr.
Brandy Lynn Hemme.
Myron Lamar Hillman.
Tanya Lynn Hervis.
Charles Anthony Hinton.
Marquita B. Hicks.
Christopher Tyler Holland.
Janine Alicia Hopkins.
Brenton Philip Holly.
Asia Javon Hughes.
Ryan Lee Horman.
Tamara Michelle Hughes.
Andrew Joseph Horner.
Kimmy Ty Hun.
LaMichael Anthony Howard.
Charlestina Mary Nicole Hyde.
Trinian Malloy Howard.
Erica Lynn Heisel.
Kiana Monique Irons.
Aaron Jackson.
Nakia Leanne Jackson.
Stuart McNeil Jackson.
Tassandra Dawn Jackson.
Brandon Michael James.
Paula Marie Jeffers.
Roderick Eugene Johnson Jr.
Andrea Christine Johnson.
John Michael Johnston.
Rebecca Lynn Johnston.
Andrew Talbert Johnston.
Lindsay Marie Jones.
Ricardo Lee Johnston.
Jessica Lynn Cam.
Mark Allen Jones.
Yvonne Pearl Cassinger.
Stephen E. Jones.
Catrice Janelle Keon.
Ricky Jordan.
Chriselle Nicole Kinney.
Thomas Stephen Yinger.
Nicole Len Kohus.
Nolan David Kamer.
Stephanie Marie Kuntz.
Brandon John Kellner.
Joseph Patrick Legge.
Jennifer Marie Marsh.
Albert Daniel Canet.
Eunice Uni Koo.
William Anderson Krieger.
Lisa Michelle Krebs.
David Michael Labar.
Michelle Renee Lackey.
Kwame Khalil Lewis.
Stacy Ann Leppert.
Jared Peter Lindsay.
Alyssa Ann Nyhoff Link.
Matthew Benjamin Levisky.
Jessica Kimberly Long.
Matthew Lance Longmate.
Tonda Roberta Love.
Nathaniel Lee Lovett.
Aquila Israel Lowry.
David James Macklin.
Denise Virginia Marcus.
Clinton Thomas Mahaney.
Jennifer Lynn Marcus.
Joram Keith Dublin Menelato.
Kimberly Ann McComas.
Kevin M. Marcotte.
Andrea Judith Medley.
Tanya Michelle Meyer.
Joshua Gregory Marr.
Angela Gale Moore.
James G. Maupin.
Jennifer Marie Manafo.
Jordan Nicholas Maupin.
Victoria Renee Munlin.
Sean Lamar Mays.
Angela M. Nelson.
Brandon Charles McConnell.
Aaron Jean Nichols.
Joshua Robert McCoy.
Lisa Marie Nutt.
Marcus L. McDaniel.
Erica C. O'Hara.
Christopher Michael McGrath.
Katie Nicole Orick.
Jason R. McGuire.
Jessica Shea Owens.
Austin J. McNear.
Catherine Teresa Pabst.
Christopher Thomas Miners.
Mary Elizabeth Patton.
Aaron David Miller.
Candy Nicolette Phillips.
J. Patrick Miller.
Anish Jagdish Mystery.
Geraldine Elizabeth Phillips.
David Matthew Munifo.
Vanita Rochelle Reed.
Louis James Alexander Murray, Jr.
Kara Leanne Richards.
Sean Allen Myers.
Jennifer Marie Richter.
Bao Nan Nguyen.
Brandy D. Riley.
Pavan Vijay Parikh.
Jennifer Shannon Riley.
Matthew Robert Pearson.
Amy Alicia Rogers.
Michael David Posega.
Susan Grace Ruiz.
Landon Lamont Powell.
Keisha Shawnette Rutherford.
Arjun Sanjay Ramadut.
Aaron Renee Salter.
Christopher Matthew Reisenberg.
Natasha Denise Salter.
Willie James Reynolds III.
Ashley Nicole Schaefer.
Reginald Jerome Rivers.
Danielle Elise Shelton.
Janae Charisse Shelton.
Stephen Michael Roberts.
Alina Nicole Estel Smith.
Jason Stephen Schaefer.
Pamela Jane Smith.
James Anthony Sherrill.
Shakira Shantiqua Smith.
Brian Lee Schmittou.
Shimona Nicole Smith.
Lawrence Sanford Scott.
Tania Louise Smith.
Richard John Segovia.
Janine Renee Stallworth.
Matthew Robert Schaefer.
Jennifer Elizabeth Stanley.
Robert Lee Schammel, Jr.
Elizabeth Ryan Steele.
Sanjay Sharma.
Kristen Andrea Stokes.
Calvin Shaw III.
Yolanda L. Strauss.
Michael Joseph Shows.
Michelle Marie Street Martyr.
Kevin William Simonson.
Suzanne Marie Sudzina.
Christopher Garrick Smith.
Craig Layton Smith.
Amanda Marie Taylor.
Michael Anthony Solomon.
Ashley Nicole Taylor.
James Terrence Stallings.
Nicole Lynn Tenenfeld.
Jerome Stanfield Jr.
Amber Nicole Thurston.
Dorian Lamont Staunton.
Soraya Christine Tugrul.
Michael Rockman Steele.
Alexia Dion Tyree.
Zachary Evan Steele.
Aaron LeRae Walker.
Robert Perry Steffen.
Latasha Monique Walker.
Jared Warren Sturzman.
Melissa Tyler Wallace.
Corey J. Story.
Dewana Nicole Ward.
Philip Anthony Stubblefield.
Alicia Nicole Warfield.
Brandon J. Tankersley.
Anna Natalie Faye Warner.
Jason Everett Taylor.
Penny Nicole White.
Sharon Lynette White.
Kevin Michael Teufel.
Cheryl Lynn White.
Andrew David Thompson.
Megan Joy Whitfield.
Stephen Michael Thompson.
Teresa and Wiggins.
Reynold William Topher.
Erica Elizabeth Wiley.
Brandon Scott Tomlinson.
Catherine Marie Willenbrink.
Jeffrey Paul Vonderhaar.
Crystal Maria Williams.
Timothy Michael Busick.
Lynette Renee Williams.
Brian Thurston Wallace.
Jessica Lynn Wright.
Gary Lee Washington.
Christine Nicole Young.
Christopher Lee Watkins.
Jason Andrew Wells.
Ryan Joseph Watson.
Philip Dewan White.
Stephen Michael Weaver.
Brandon Michael Wiley.
Calvin Lavon Welch.
Tyrell Purcell Wilson. William R. Wingerreed. Andrew Scott Winkle. Samuel Lee Winkle. Marcus Andre Wolford. Man Leong Wong. And Paul Anthony Wright, Jr.
Thank you. As president of the Princeton Board of Education, I am pleased to accept these candidates for graduation. I am aware of the positive impact they have had on Princeton High School. In recognition of their successfully meeting both state and local requirements, I declare them graduated.
Congratulations. Now, could the class of 2001 please rise for the changing of the tassel? Are you ready? Congratulations.